What's up, bookworms? So I've been getting a little bit lazy, and so it's taking me a while to get to these book reviews. But about 2 weeks ago, I finished A Storm of Swords, the third book in a Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. And after taking 2 weeks to be able to sit and think about this book and reflect and really digest this book and dissect it piece by piece, because a lot of things happen in this book that were pivotal to the story. And so after being able to take 2 weeks to really think this book through, I've decided to give A Storm of Swords 4.8 stars. Now, I absolutely love this book, and a lot of things take place in this book that are pivotal to the story, like I said. So you have the Red Wedding, you have the War of the Five Kings, you have you have the poisoning of King Joffrey, and that's one of the things that I really had to take the time to look into and look back and reread certain passages and certain sentences, because once you read that scene, you start to understand that King Joffrey wasn't the intended targeting in that poisoning. I reread that passage 2 or 3 times to fully understand that King Joffrey was eating from Tyrion's pigeon pie. And I believe Tyrion was the intended target in that poisoning, and King Joffrey just happened to be collateral damage. Because if you really look into the lore and to the history of the book and to King Joffrey's poisoning, you'll understand that Littlefinger, Peter Baelish, he wanted to get Tyrion out of the picture so that Sansa could be free from that marriage contract, and then he could then either marry her off to somebody else, or use her as a pawn in some other way in order to gain power in the north. And so that was my perception, and my belief is that King Joffrey was not the intended target in that poisoning. And so a lot of really good things happen in this book, and I love Arya and the Hounds kind of their kind of chemistry and what they've got going on. And they've got kind of like a father-daughter kind of role, and they've got this weird kind of synchronicity, and they kind of just both understand each other a little bit. And so this book was really, really good. Like I said, you guys, definitely that 4.8 out of 5-star rating. Highly, highly recommend A Song of Ice and Fire, the Game of Thrones series by George R.R. Martin, if you guys haven't gotten to it yet. And I did this book as a combination of the physical book, the ebook, and the audio book. I absolutely love Roy Dotrice's take, and the way he narrates this book and the way he does every character. And I highly recommend listening to the audiobook if you guys decide to do this series. In the meantime, bookworms, let's get out there and carpe some Librum.